Welcome to lesson number 1 in Module 5, Emerging New Technologies that can disrupt and innovate at the same time within the contemporary entrepreneurial environment. At first, we should identify and specify the term of emerging technologies. Emerging technologies are technologies that are perceived as capable of changing the status quo on the ongoing contemporary environment. These technologies are generally new, but include other technologies that are still controversial and relatively undeveloped in potential, such as, for example, 3D printing and VR, virtual reality. Such technologies are characterized by radical novelty, relatively fast growth, coherence, prominent impact, and uncertainty and ambiguity. In other words, an emerging technology can be defined as a radically novel and relatively fast-growing technology, characterized by a certain degree of coherence, persisting over time, and with the potential to exert a considerable impact on the socio-economic domain. They tend to include a variety of technologies, such as educational technology, information technology, nanotechnology, biotechnology, cognitive science, psychotechnology, robotics, and artificial intelligence. We should now try to explain why this kind of emerging technologies are so important for the contemporary entrepreneurial environment. Staying on top of technology trends is serious business for those of us in the field. Skill sets come and go at the breakneck pace, and it's important to stay ahead of the curve in an attempt to anticipate the next hot trend to keep oneself relevant in an ever-changing world. As our technologies increase in complexity, it takes more and more time for technologists to start to comprehend new technologies, let alone learn how to implement and support them. For example, the proliferation of mobile computing around the world clearly indicates that a focus on future wireless technologies would make our list. Whereas technology was traditionally confined largely to operations and execution, its digital expression now informs all aspects of business from ideation to delivery. In such an evolving climate, new entrants and entrepreneurs focus on niches, specific functions, and overlooked domains can make meaningful impacts on a global stage traditionally dominated by the world's biggest players. From blockchain and augmented reality to the Internet of Things and the socially responsible applications of technology, these trends embody the macro forces fueling innovation, digital, analytics, cloud, and the changing role of IT within the enterprise. As we progress in this lesson, we will try and briefly explore the social value of emerging technologies-based innovation within the entrepreneurial environment. Based on this concept of socially responsible innovation, entrepreneurs, and especially new ones, must learn to adequately comprehend the ways in which new technologies can have a variety of social, economic, and environmental impacts, and how these impacts can be balanced. From augmented reality to the Internet of Things, as well as exponential technologies like robotics and quantum computing, the exploration of emerging trends can help entrepreneurs within a variety of different places and contexts to explore new opportunities and harness these technologies in order to refocus, revitalize, and reimagine the future of their local business within an international perspective. Mobile, social, cloud, analytics, and the business of IT are some of the main macro forces behind the digital technologies that are fueling innovation today. We will now discuss the emerging technological trends that have the potential of influencing businesses, and especially newly shaped ones, within the next few years, as well as those ones that have the potential to reshape crucial components of the entrepreneurial environment, such as customer engagement, issues of sustainability, underlying business models, and even broader industry dynamics. These technological trends presented and further analyzed below are augmented and virtual reality, 3D printing, Internet of Things, autonomic platforms. The future of mobile is tilting increasingly towards wearables, especially as augmented reality and virtual reality solutions hit the market. Long are the objects of sci-fi fascination, the looming potential of AR and VR technologies lies in the enterprise with capabilities that could potentially reshape business processes or fundamentally recast customer experiences. More broadly, AR and VR are introducing new opportunities to transform the enterprise, particularly in the areas of communication and collaboration, training and stimulation, and field and customer service, as well as in the reinvention of employee and customer experience. We will now discuss the applicability potentials of emerging technologies by discussing the paradigms of the encompass innovation and creativity momentum. These examples below encompass this notion. Number 1. The Los Angeles Philharmonic immerses audiences in the world of Beethoven. Number 2. The British Museum invites visitors into a Bronze Age roundhouse containing both real and virtual artifacts of the period. Number 3. Psychologists at the University of Louisville are creating exposure therapies to help phobia patients confront and learn to contain their fears. Number 4. Filmmakers are crafting first-person POV documentaries that place viewers in the middle of Syrian refugee camp or an African village beset by Ebola. As 3D printing becomes more accessible on a global scale, entrepreneurs become able to innovate across a diverse range of industries. As a result, the process of additive manufacturing is beginning to create industry disruptions, causing new businesses to emerge and stagnant yet well-established businesses to fail. We should always keep in mind that in order to become capable to navigate through this disruption, entrepreneurs who choose to embrace the specific emerging technology need to do so through a carefully strategic plan in order to profit. When three-dimensional designs are created using specific software, applications like AutoCAD digital data can be sent out to a 3D printer. The output is a three-dimensional object, which is printed in sequential layers using different materials. Increasingly forward-thinking organizations and entrepreneurs around the world are focusing their Internet of Things initiatives less on underlying sensors, devices, and smart things, and more on developing bold approaches for managing data, leveraging brownfield IoT infrastructure, and developing new business models. Meanwhile, others are developing human impact IoT use cases for boosting food production, cutting carbon emissions, and transforming health services. Whatever the case, IoT will admittedly have considerable impact on one's business and on the people around us. Information gathered by the Internet of Things enables businesses to create and capture new value by providing insight to optimize actions. Modified actions, in turn, give rise to new information, starting the cycle anew. Value drivers determine how much value is created. Their relevance and importance depend on the specific use case. Autonomic platforms build upon and bring together two important trends in IT: software-defined everything's climb up the tech stack and the overhaul of IT operating and delivery models. With more and more of IT becoming expressible as code from underlying infrastructure to IT department tasks, entrepreneurs now have a chance to apply new architecture patterns and disciplines. Concluding this lesson, we realize that the main challenge ahead will be to recognize ways to design and architect models for driving transformative change and positive social impact, both for social good and for more commercial purposes. Harnessing exponentials for social impact can help build markets, drive adoption, and light a powerful beacon for attracting and inspiring new minds within the entrepreneurial environment.